Hello everybody and welcome to my 520 subscriber special, in which I will be breaking down the third episode of Walking with Cavemen, Savage Family. If you haven't noticed, there's something slightly different about this video, in that I've got a little drawn avatar in the corner. I'm not sure if this is something I'll continue doing, but it looked like a lot of you liked the idea, so let's just get into the video. Before we get into it, I want to say a couple of little preludes. I might not use a heap of footage from the episode because it features a lot of nudity, which will get the video taken down. The first part and majority of the episode is set 1.5 million years ago in Kenya. The episode also has segments set 500,000 years ago in China and Kenya. The Kenya segments were filmed in Botswana, but I cannot find where the China segments were filmed. Homo ergaster was a species of Homo from the early Pleistocene, approximately 2.04 million years ago to approximately 870,000 years ago, of Africa, meaning they lived in the right place to appear. Although they existed at the right time to appear in the 1.5 million years ago segment, they had already been extinct for at least 370,000 years before the setting of the 500,000 years ago segment. Homo ergaster is sometimes placed as a subspecies of Homo erectus. Homo ergaster is depicted as having tan skin, being portrayed by Caucasian actors, when in reality they would have had much darker skin, similar to modern Africans. Homo ergaster is still thought to be the first hominin to sweat. A wildebeest, genus Conochetes, appears. Wildebeest evolved in the early Pleistocene, 2.5 million years ago, and are found in central southern Africa, as well as in some East African countries, including Kenya, meaning they lived in the right place and time to appear. Swallows appear. These appear to be barn swallows, Hirundo rustica. The family Hirundidae dates back to the early Miocene, and the barn swallow is found in the Americas, almost all of the Asian continent, excluding some of northern Russia, Europe, the very north of the Northern Territory and Western Australia, and most importantly, most of sub-Saharan Africa, meaning it lived in the right place at approximately the right time to appear. African elephants, genus Loxodonta, appear. This genus is historically known from almost all of Africa and evolved in the late Miocene, 7 million years ago, meaning it lived in the right time and place to appear. Given the episode's setting, it is probably an African bush elephant, Loxodonta africana. A baboon, genus Papio, appears. Based on the setting and coloration, it appears to be an olive baboon, Papio anubis. Olive baboons are known from 25 countries in equatorial Africa, including Kenya, and the genus Papio dates back to the early Pleistocene, 2 million years ago, meaning it lived in the right place and around the right time to appear. Giraffes, genus Giraffa, appear. The genus dates back to the Miocene, 11.6 million years ago, and is found in many places throughout Africa, meaning it lived at the right time in the right place to appear. Given the episode's setting, it is most likely a reticulated giraffe. Giraffa reticulata, or Giraffa camelopardus reticulata. For some reason, the word for cheetah in the Homo ergaster's language is the same as the one in English. It is at this point that the episode jumps forward 500,000 years and travels to China in order to catch up with the descendants of Homo ergaster, who are Homo erectus was a species of Homo from the Pleistocene, 2 million years ago to 100,000 years ago, of Asia, Africa and Europe. If you follow the subspecies model of Homo erectus, then the subspecies featured in this episode is Homo erectus pekinensis, or Peking man, which lived in China from 800 to 250,000 years ago, meaning it lived in the right time and place to appear. The Homo erectus have the same problem as the Homo ergaster, being portrayed as having, and by actors who have, much lighter skin than they would have had in reality. Robert Winston claims that Homo erectus did not use tools, but we have evidence of not just Homo erectus, but Homo erectus specifically in China using stone tools. A tarantula appears. Tarantula is usually used to refer to the family Theraphosidae, but can also refer to the entire order Megalomorphae. The family Theraphosidae is found in the tropics and south, and dates back to the Cretaceous, meaning that there would have been tarantulas at the setting of the episode. It would be almost impossible to determine which specific species of tarantula these belong to. Gigantopithecus was a huge Shiva-Pithecine pongine from the early to mid-Pleistocene, approximately 2 million years ago to 300,000 years ago, of China, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. It is one of the only non-hominin creatures in the Walking With series entirely portrayed practically, and I think the only creature to be entirely portrayed by a puppet. We then returned to Kenya, but still presumably 500,000 years ago, as Winston claims to travel forward 1,000,000 years, but this would place him approximately 500,000 years in the future, in order to catch up with Homo ergaster, who had, at the time of this setting, been extinct for approximately 370,000 years. Another vulture appears. It looks to be a Rupel's vulture, Gypsorapelii. The family Accipitridae dates back to the Eocene, and the Rupel's vulture is known from the Sahel region, as well as East Africa, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Two Homo ergaster appear, being portrayed by the same actors playing the ones who had lived 500,000 years before this segment. It is stated that Homo ergaster was the first hominins to use fire. While this is not known for certain, it is thought to be true. And that was Savage Family, episode 3 of Walking with Cavemen. Join me next time for my breakdown of episode 4, the final episode, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for getting me to 520 subscribers, and I have a Discord and a second channel, both linked in the description. Goodbye.